Hey guys, and thank you for watching. If you are new to my channel, I'm Kelly. Welcome to KBellaBeauty. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. I do upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Although we did have a bit of a hiccup last week, I didn't have any videos going up due to a family emergency, but I'm back and I'm excited to film today. I'm actually filming 2 videos, and ironically enough, this video is my monthly anti-haul video, and I will be filming a haul video after this. Now, I am going to be filming anti-hauls every month. I stated that in previous videos. In my second video, I did give credit to Kimberly Clark, the originator of the anti-haul video, and so I've just decided that I'm going to do mine monthly. There are so many new makeup products coming out all the time that it can be a little bit hard to keep up with at times, and of course, if you're just a regular girl like me, it's also impossible to pick them all up. So this video is not meant to be a negative video. I just want to share with you products that I will not be purchasing and the reason why. So let's go ahead and get started. The first product that I want to mention is a collaboration between Holmes and Smashbox. Casey did mention that she was doing a collab with Smashbox a while ago, and so pictures have finally been released, and we are now aware that she is releasing 2 highlight palettes. One of the palettes looks to be more of like gold, champagne gold tones, while the other tends to look more peachy pink. And Casey did post on her Instagram her swatching some of those highlight palettes. She also just posted, I want to say it was maybe a couple days ago, she posted on her Instagram that she had some launch details. For a while, there were no details about the launch. We didn't know when she would come out with these palettes or how much they would be or anything like that. But I did see the other day that she mentioned that there are going to be 2 palettes with 3 highlight shades in each. She said that the palettes would be available first for Smash Cash members that are on levels 2 and 3. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's probably some kind of reward system with Smashbox. And then for her followers, they should be able to snag a palette on Monday. Now, I film on the weekend, so today is Saturday, but this will go up on Wednesday. So by the time you're seeing this video, these palettes should have already gone on sale. She also said she would give more information as soon as she could, but that the launch date is sooner rather than later. She also said that these palettes will retail for $35 and they'll be available at Sephora, Ulta, and Macy's later on. Now, I love highlights, I love Holmes, but this is something that I'm going to pass on just because, I mean, I really only have a couple highlights. Highlights last you so long, but I feel like these are shades that like I already have in my collection. I don't necessarily feel compelled to buy more highlights. They look beautiful, but it's just, it's not calling out to me. And if I'm going to spend $35 on a makeup product, I need it to be something that is calling out to me that I really want in my collection. And as much as I love Casey, I just don't feel like I need these highlighters. I mean, Champagne Pop works great for me. Laura Geller's Gilded Honey works great for me. If I'm going to try a highlighter, I kind of want to get on the holographic trend and try something a little bit different. So I feel like these, they're just not for me, so I will be passing on that. Another thing that I did find a little bit frustrating was that these palettes were all over social media, but there were no details about them. For the longest time, there was no price listed, and we didn't know the launch date. And even as she was posting last week, she's showing pictures of these and saying these palettes are coming out sooner rather than later, but there's no launch date. So it's one of those, it feels like it's gonna be spur of the moment, like Kylie Cosmetics always does. Tomorrow at this time, get these palettes, and then it's like a fight to the death, and you are trying to log onto your computer. And so that's just something I'm not interested in. I like to be prepared when I'm making purchases. I like to know ahead of time when the products are coming out and how much they'll be. So in this instance, I'm gonna go ahead and pass on these highlight palettes. Speaking of highlighter palettes, Laura Mercier is also coming out with a Prismatic Glow palette. And so this is something I did say, if I want to get into highlights, I want some kind of holographic, unique highlight. And so it looks like Laura Mercier is coming out with a palette that is supposed to be holographic. It includes 5 cream shades, and it's going to retail for $52. There will be 4 shades. It looks like one of the shades, Aurora, it looks more of like a peachy pink, almost like it would be a blush shade. Then there is a shade called Reflect. It looks like it's called Reflect. That looks like more of a bronzy shade. Then you have Prism, Beam, and Ray, which all look like highlight shades. Beam being the most unique, looking like a silver blue shade. So this is going to be available in March. I don't know an exact date, but it will be available at Sephora. I know I was just saying that I wanted to try some kind of different holographic highlights. However, this palette, again, just doesn't look like it's for me. I'm not really interested in the peachy pink blush. I like more mauve toned blushes. The bronzy shade, sometimes warmer bronzy shades pull very orange on me, which I'm not interested in. Prism and Ray don't look super unique. Ray, even in this picture, looks like it might be matte, more of a setting powder. Prism just looks like a normal champagne gold. Beam is really the only highlight that looks very unique. And for this to be $52, I get that people are into palettes. I get that they are into highlighting palettes. But I just feel like if I purchase a palette, I want to be able to use all of the shades. Otherwise, there's no purpose in me spending the $52. So if I really wouldn't use the blush or bronzer shade, I'm paying $52 for 3 shades. And again, I mean, it just isn't jumping out and calling to me. So for that, I love my girl Laura Mercier, but I will be passing on this highlight palette as well. The next product that I'm going to mention is, again, a product that I don't have a lot of information about. I feel like I keep hearing about these new releases and even seeing sneak pictures, but then there's no other details, like no launch date, no price, nothing to go on, and you're just kind of left hanging, and that's a little bit frustrating for me. So this next palette is the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collaboration that was leaked. I do have a picture of the leaked cake that was made for Jaclyn at the launch party, and I know Jaclyn and Morphe were really upset that this was leaked, but it does kind of give us a clue as to what some of these shades are going to look like. Now, I don't have much information about this palette, but I do know that there will be 35 brand new shades. So in Jaclyn Hill's first collab with Morphe, she did a favorites palette. So she picked shadows that Morphe already had and put them into a palette and created like her ultimate go-to palette with Morphe eyeshadows. But this time around, it sounds like she is creating new shades and she's creating new colors and she's putting them together. They're not shadows that Morphe already has. Now, I do know that when I was looking up information online, it gave a launch date of March, again, just a month, but I follow Jaclyn Hill on Snapchat, and I think it was yesterday or the day before, she came on and she just said, as much as she wants to share this collaboration and this palette with us, that her and Morphe together, they wanted to do it right. And she said that they felt a lot of pressure once the palette was leaked, that they needed to just hurry up and they needed to get product together and they needed to get it out there. And she just said that she really wants this palette to be perfect. She wants to launch it when it's ready, and she wants to have enough supply for anybody that wants to get their hands on it, which is something I can respect. We all get a little frustrated when there's a palette or some kind of makeup item that we're hoping to get our hands on and then it's sold out in like 5 minutes. So I appreciate that her and Morphe are working together to have a smooth launch where anyone who wants this palette can get their hands on it. But Jaclyn did say that it will not be ready to launch in March. And so at this time, we are left hanging. We don't know when it's going to launch. And so we just have to kind of keep our eyes out and follow Jaclyn and keep up to date with what she's saying about the palette. But regardless of when the palette does or doesn't launch, this is something that I'm going to be passing on. I did get her original collaboration with Morphe, the Favorites palette. I love Morphe eyeshadows. I feel like they're usually very affordable. I know that her first collab was 28 shadows, and I think it was $28. I also think Kathleen Light's, her palette was $15 and 15 shades. So if I guesstimated, I would say that this palette will probably be around $35 or so. So I mean, it's really affordable, but I just, in looking at the picture that released, these didn't look like super unique shades. If I'm going to purchase an eyeshadow palette, I'm going to want it to have some super unique shades, or at least shades that I don't already have in my collection. And so as much as I love Jaclyn Hill, I just, at this time, with as much information as I have, I'm not going to be keeping tabs on this collab, and I don't plan on purchasing it. Another palette, again, that we do not have a lot of information about is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette. And I love that Too Faced is like getting creative, and they're coming up with peach palettes that smell like peach, and peanut butter and jelly palettes that smell like peanut butter, and chocolate bar palettes that smell like chocolate. But these shades just seem very neutral. If I didn't have a lot of palettes, I would say, yeah, this is a cute palette. There's like some neutral shades and browns and pinks and a gold, but these are kind of shades that I already have, probably even in my chocolate bar palette. So I just don't feel like, as cute as this is and as good as I'm sure it's going to smell, I just don't feel a tug on my heartstrings to purchase this, because I feel like the shadows are very dupable and I probably already have them in my collection. Again, another frustrating thing is we don't know the price and we don't know when it's going to launch. We are just being told that it is going to be limited edition, so when it's gone, it's gone, and it's going to be out sometime in March. And keep an eye out for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. So when I was trying to get all of my notes together for this anti-haul, I just found myself being very frustrated, and I think another part of the reason why I'm passing on some of these items is just because they're not giving me any information. I don't know when it's going to launch or how much it's going to be, and that's really frustrating for me. I want to know, I want to have the facts, but because I don't have them, it's just something I'm gonna pass on. Jeffree Star has another palette coming out, and this is the next palette that you're going to see in my anti-haul. It is the Androgyny palette. Now, unlike the other things that I have mentioned, Jeffree did give us plenty of information about this palette, which I do so very much appreciate. This palette is going to launch March 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Jeffree Star's website. It's going to be $45, and at this time, I believe it is going to be permanent. I am not a huge Jeffree Star fan. I do watch some of his videos. I was interested in trying out his liquid lipsticks at one point in time, but he has done and said some things that just kind of turned me off to him a little bit. So he's not someone that I really am compelled to support because I love him so much. But just looking at this palette, I can say his palette does look unique compared to some of the other palettes that I've mentioned. There is like a frosty gold shade. There looks like a nice neutral transition cool tone shade, some reds and greens and bronze. So you do kind of have a good variety, and I do know that his eyeshadow pans are huge. So I feel like for 10 shadow shades that are of a large pan size, $45 is a good price. But Jeffree Star is just not someone on my go-to list, so I'm just gonna pass over this palette as well. The last thing that I want to touch on are some more highlighters, and although they are a little bit different style of highlight, I will be passing on them. They are by Kevyn Aucoin, the Neo highlighters. It looks like he has two of them. One looks like more of an ombre neutral shade, and the other looks like more of an ombre purple. But the thing that really turned me off to these palettes was the price tag. $58. Oh my gosh, $58 each. And so they are available now. If you're interested in purchasing them, you can, but $58 each. I just feel like Marlena from Makeup Geek said a lot of people were complaining about her $20 price tag on her highlighters, but then you have companies like Becca who are coming out with $38 highlights, and Kevyn and Aucoin $58 highlights. And it's just like, if I can go to Makeup Geek and get maybe a similar purple holographic highlight shade for $20, I would much rather do that, because I do highlight every day, but you only use a small amount of product that it's just going to last you so long. So I don't feel like I need to have tons and tons and tons, and I definitely don't feel like I need to spend $58 to find a good highlight. So although they looked beautiful and they swatched beautifully, I will be passing on the Kevyn and Aucoin highlighters as well. Okay, well that is it for this month's anti-haul. I'm sorry that it's getting put up a little bit late. I do try to post my anti-haul videos around the middle of the month, so February 15th was my goal, but I did still want to get an anti-haul video up. I know they are my most watched videos, so if there are products that you are wondering if I'm going to get or not, please leave them in the comments down below. Otherwise, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed before you go, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!